This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening. We will start in a couple minutes, just waiting for a few more people to join.
Buenas noches, vamos a comenzar en un par de minutos. Estamos esperando que otras personas se conecten.
All right, thank you everyone for joining our middle school to high school transition night. My name is Maria Taylor. I apologize for having to have my camera off, but I have technological difficulties. I am the middle school supervisor of special education, joined by Sarah Fabian, program support specialist at the middle school level. We would just like to thank you both all for coming and introduce you to Jeff Ennis. He is the high school supervisor of special education and will be running today's presentation. Please hold any questions till the end, and welcome to the show. Take it away, Jeff.
All right. Hello, everybody.
I'm sorry, can I translate?
Oh, yep.
Thank you. Buenas noches y bienvenidos a la reunión informativa acerca de la transición de la escuela secundaria a la preparatoria. La señora que acaba de hablar es la señora Maria Taylor. Ella es supervisora de la educación especial a nivel de las escuelas secundarias. Ella se disculpa por tener la cámara apagada. Lo que pasa es que está teniendo dificultades técnicas. Ella también presentó a la señora Sarah Fabian, que es una especialista en programas de educación especial a nivel de secundaria. Y también presentó al señor Jeff Ennis, que es un supervisor de educación especial a nivel de la preparatoria. Yo soy María Salazar, especialista en apoyo familiar, y esta noche voy a servirles como su intérprete. Señor Ennis, gracias.
All right, thank you. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay, can see the presentation here. I'm just going to go over, honestly, kind of like a day in the life, just things that are going to be a little bit different from middle school, and then obviously at the end I will open it up if there's any specific questions that you may have.
Buenas noches y muchas gracias. Yo soy Jeff Ennis y yo espero que todos me puedan escuchar. Prácticamente esta noche lo que me gustaría platicar con ustedes es darles un ejemplo de cómo es el día escolar para los niños de la preparatoria. Les voy a dar toda esa información y si pueden aguantar sus preguntas para final de la presentación.
So the first thing that I wanted to share was just the school calendar for next year. Can never start thinking too soon about that. Honestly, just wanted to highlight the two biggest dates, which would be August 28th, which will be the first day for students. And then the last day for students as of right now will be June 6th. There's obviously our holiday breaks that are built in as well. If you need access to the school calendar, you can get it from the Norristown website.
Lo primero que me gustaría compartir con ustedes es el calendario escolar para el año que viene, que sería el año escolar del 2023 al 2024. Quiero recalcar de que el primer día de clases para el año que viene sería el 28 de agosto y tenemos el último día del año que viene, junio 6. Si ustedes quieren una copia de este calendario, pueden accederlo en el sitio web del Distrito Escolar de Norristown.
Next thing that we'll just go into is the daily schedule. So students arrive or are dropped off approximately between 7 o'clock and 7:12 a.m. every day. The doors then open at 7:12, and then you can see that we go by a block schedule here at the high school. So block 1 is 7:25 to 8:56. Block 2 is 9:01 to 10:24. And then block 3 is longer, and then that's where you'll see our half-hour increments for the 4 different lunch periods. Our block 4 goes from 12:49 to 2:12, and then our dismissal is at 2:12 p.m.
Les voy a compartir el horario diario de la escuela preparatoria. La escuela está abierta a las 7 de la mañana. Los estudiantes pueden llegar a esa hora. Pueden ser entregados si los traen a la escuela o ellos llegan también en el autobús de 7 a 7:12. Las puertas las abren a las 7:12 y ellos pueden entrar al edificio. Y después tenemos el bloque 1 que comienza a las 7:25. Tienen que estar en la primera clase a esa hora y eso es hasta las 8:56. Después el bloque 2, que sería la siguiente clase, comienza de las 9:01 a las 10:24. El bloque 3 es un poquito más largo, desde las 10:29 hasta las 12:44, porque ven la lista de los almuerzos, almuerzo A, B, C y D. Y después de esos almuerzos viene el bloque 4, que es desde las 12:49 a las 2:12 y la salida o el despacho es a las 12, a las 2:12.
At the high school, we run a little bit different from the marking periods that you would see in the younger grades. So the way that our semesters work is essentially that the year is broken down into 2 halves. So marking period 1 and marking period 2 go into the first semester. So you would be taking 4 classes in that first semester. Then from January through the end of the year, you would be in the second semester, which means 4 totally different classes. So when I showed our block scheduling and the times and those class periods run about 85 minutes or so, it's because you're essentially getting 2 classes every day. The one thing that we like to, harp on the students is a reminder that, if they do miss a day of school or if they do not go to class for 1 period, it's essentially like missing 2 classes at one time. So again, 4 classes in the first half of the year, you get your 4 grades in January, and then you get 4 classes in the second half of the year, and you get those 4 final grades around this time in June.
El año escolar es manejado un poco diferente que en los grados menores, que es la secundaria y la primaria. El año escolar es dividido en 2 semestres, que son con periodos de calificación, con 2 periodos de calificación durante ese semestre. El señor Ennings explica de que le acabamos de enseñar el horario diario, que es dividido en bloques, o son bloques de un periodo de clases. Y también quiere explicarles de que si un estudiante pierde un bloque, no va a esa clase, es como perder 2 clases. Entonces, que tengan cuidado con eso. El semestre 1 es desde el mes de agosto hasta enero. El semestre 2 es desde enero hasta junio. Y los estudiantes tienen 4 clases por semestre.
All right, the next thing that I just wanted to go over, one too many, is our high school graduation requirements. Again, it's just good to know what the students are required to complete prior to the end of their 4th year. So here at the high school, we do require 4 years of English. For math, they are required to take at least 3 credits, including Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. They need 3 credits of social studies. They need 3 credits of science. I'm sorry, that says 3 or 2. But biology and chemistry are mandatory. That's why I did it. And then 2 math science electives. So a total of 7 math or science electives, but 5 of them are already accounted for between Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, Biology, and Chemistry. And then they can take 2 additional math or science electives. Wellness and phys ed is mandatory for 1 credit, which is usually done in your 10th grade year, and then 8 electives on top of that. And that can be made up by, just electives within the school, or if the students choose to go to the tech school after 10th grade, those would be considered elective credits. So in all, 23 credits are required for graduation.
Que lo siguiente le explicamos los requisitos de graduación de la preparatoria. Como un estudiante, ¿cuáles son los requisitos para graduarse de bachiller? Se necesita tomar inglés por los 4 años que están allí en la escuela preparatoria. Desde noveno hasta el 12, son 4 años en total. Y en esos 4 años se les requiere que pase 4 clases de inglés, que es inglés 1, 2, 3 y 4. También las materias de matemáticas, y eso incluye álgebra 1, álgebra 2 y geometría, que serían 3 créditos, 3 clases de matemáticas. También estudios sociales, se necesitan 3 créditos, que son 3 clases pasadas. Eso puede incluir culturas mundiales, historia de Estados Unidos o gobiernos de Estados Unidos. También se requieren 2 créditos de ciencia, que sería biología y química. También materias optativas de matemáticas y ciencias cuentan. Y también salud, bienestar o educación física, que sería 1 crédito que se requiere. Y también pueden los estudiantes del 10 grado, ellos pueden ser elegibles para ir a la escuela técnica y tomar una clase en la escuela técnica que contaría como una materias optativas. Total de requeridos créditos para graduarse son 23 créditos en total.
Another thing that I just wanted to bring to your attention, again, just because it's never too early to start thinking about it, starting with this year's graduates, Pennsylvania has instituted what's called Act 158. And as it says there, with the graduating class of 2023, students have the option to demonstrate post-secondary preparedness through 1 of 4 additional pathways. So this is basically through college, career, or community readiness. So there's different pathways that a student can take. They're listed here. Obviously, you'll get more information with a lot more detail on this, but they can either pass their keystones, and that automatically gives them their pathway. There's a composite, which is a total score between math and reading. Career technical concentration, which means if they go to the tech school and come out with some sort of industry certification. Then there's alternative assessments such as through their NASD test that they might get through career and technical, and also evidence-based, which would be performing some community service, applying and being accepted into a 2 or 4 year college after school. So things like that. And then also for students that do have an IEP, it is possible that there's a waiver that could be granted for students that are not able to complete any of those pathways. This would generally be for our students in our life skills programs, our autistic support programs, multiple disabilities programs. And I did want to just point out as well that, a lot of this presentation is based off of students that would be in large support. But obviously, if you have a student that is in a low incidence classroom, their schedule might change differently based off of their specific needs.
Ok, lo siguiente es otro requisito que se necesita para poder graduarse, y esto es algo nuevo. Van a recibir más información acerca de este requisito, pero nunca es muy temprano para comenzar a recibir esta información y estar preparados. Esto es la ley 158, y es que a partir de este año, los estudiantes que se gradúan este año tienen la opción de demostrar preparación postsecundaria a través de uno de los 4 caminos que se ilustran aquí en esta presentación, que sería como preparación universitaria, profesional y comunitaria. Los estudiantes de este año y después necesitan, bueno, se les da 5 opciones o 5 caminos para cumplir con los requisitos estatales de graduación de la preparatoria. Y esos requisitos, el primero es, ellos tienen que demostrar competencia en los exámenes de Keystone, en lectura y matemática. Es un puntaje junto de esas dos materias. También puede ser con el Keystone compuesto o concentrador de educación técnica y profesional, que sería incluyendo el examen de NASD, que lo proveen en la escuela técnica, servicio comunitario, o también puede ser aplicando a una universidad y ser aceptado para esa universidad. También pueden hacer una evaluación alternativa, pero los estudiantes que están en educación especial, como en habilidades de hábitos de vida diaria, o también los estudiantes que están en la clase de discapacidad múltiples, ellos pueden no tener pueden ser exceptos para no de esta ley. Ellos pueden conseguir otras alternativas y no tener que hacer estos requisitos.
So that's all of the prepared slides that I had. Again, just wanted to give kind of an outlook of what the day looks like and just some things that are necessary to know coming up to the high school. But at this point, I will ask if there's anybody that has any specific questions that I could try and answer for you as it relates to the transition up to high school.
Y esto es prácticamente una idea de el repaso que quería darles acerca de la transición de 8º grado a 9º a la preparatoria, pero si alguien tiene alguna pregunta, pueden indicar y nosotros le podemos contestar su pregunta.
So I believe if you hit the raise hand feature at the bottom, that will notify our man behind the scenes that you have a question, and he would be able to unmute you to answer your question or ask your question.
Para hacer una pregunta pueden ir a la opción donde dice levantar la mano. Pueden darle a ese botón, nosotros vemos y le podemos dar la oportunidad de hacer su pregunta.
I see no hands up yet, but I'll wait about 10, 15 more seconds just to make sure if anybody's looking for the raise hand feature that they're able to get it. All right, I'm going to assume that there are no questions. So this will then conclude our.
Wait. We have a question from Nadine Baumgardner. So Nadine, I'm going to unmute you shortly.
Oh, I think I might be able to do it, actually. Let me try.
Hi.
Look at that. I did it myself.
Good job.
Just to let you know, I was on my laptop and it would not let me hit raise hand. So I signed off and went on my cell phone. So there might be a technical issue with that.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us know that.
Absolutely.
I'll make sure our IT guy behind the scenes got that.
So first and foremost, thank you for your time. It's greatly appreciated as a student, transitioning into the high school. I had a quick question about schedules. When about would the students expect to have their schedules with their assigned teachers and most importantly, their guidance counselor?
So they are actively working on them now. Obviously, I'd like to say that, they're going to be out like 1 week after the school ends. That's probably not realistic, but generally speaking, the students have their full schedule in their hand. within about a month or so before school starting. So they should have plenty of time to really get an idea of what's going on. Obviously, with students coming and going and changing of staff over the summer, it does take a little bit of time. But the schedules are being done now, but they are obviously tweaking them throughout the summer a little bit. But generally speaking, you should have it at least a month before school starts.
Okay, wonderful. And my daughter currently has a learning support IEP. And the previous case manager was discussing about different tracks that they go on when it comes to special education. Didn't know if you knew more about that. The teacher's fairly new to the district. Actually, this is his first year as a learning support teacher at East Norton Middle School.
Right.
So I just, just wanted to make sure she's on the correct track and where she needs to be for her courses and electives. But I didn't know if maybe you had, because then I asked about a learning support teacher, and he said that he couldn't tell me because there's more than one in ninth grade for just itinerant learning support. Is that true?
Yes. All right. So I'll unpack a few different things there. So number one, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't say that the kids are tracked. I don't think that's necessarily what, the right wording. But for example, like, let's just say a student was in pre-algebra in their 8th grade year. They would most likely be assigned for Algebra 1 as they come up to us. So what we basically do is we meet with all of the 8th grade case managers to identify the students on their caseload, determine what they're currently taking, what their needs are for their transition year in 9th grade, and then we schedule them accordingly. So if you look at your child's IEP, it should actually show what their projected courses are for next year. And obviously questions like that as well, I'd be more than happy to answer if you have more specific questions. But yes, as far as case managers, we have a plethora up here at the high school. We have approximately 25 special ed teachers at the high school level. 6 of them are itinerant case managers. So yes, it could be one of any 6 of them. So yes, there's definitely a wide range. Same thing. The case managers are assigned over the summer. The first week of school, you'll be receiving communication from your new case manager, introducing themselves, giving you their contact information, and everything that you'll want to have available to you.
Okay. And last question. So she's in the co-taught room. I'm assuming the same model works the same way at the high school. It's regular education with a learning support teacher during instruction, or what does that look like for co-teaching at the high school?
So at the high school, we don't necessarily have co-teaching, but those itinerant case managers that I mentioned, they don't teach classes during the day. So their job is to push into the other classrooms. So it might not be where, the learning support teacher would be pushing in, 5 days a week, but they might be there 2 or 3 days a week, or provide more support if there's a specific student that needs more support in a specific block. So it's not a full-time co-taught model. It's more push in as needed or necessary. And then we also have a resource room that, if students need a more private place to go with less distractions, that's always got a learning support teacher in there as well.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry, Jeff, what is your job title? I didn't get in the beginning.
See, I told Maria I was going to share my profile with her so she could give it out to everybody, like one of those intended, Westchester University. I'm actually the special ed supervisor at the high school level.
Oh, so you're the special ed supervisor. That's wonderful. I was just going to ask the name of the special ed supervisors. That's good to know. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Jeff, would you also like me to share that you like long walks on the beach, those types of things?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Actually, I don't. I hate sand. It's weird. I'll take a lake house any day.
Fair enough. It doesn't look like we have any other hands.
Yeah, I'll give like 10 more seconds just to make sure. All right, I think that 10 seconds is up. I do thank everybody that hopped on today. And again, as your child is making that transition, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I will be here all summer. So I don't mind answering questions, or, if you want to just come and take a peek once you get your schedule and kind of walk it, I'm available to do that as well. So really just an open door, open phone. Contact me before you get yourself frustrated. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.